because I don't want your mom to think I'm going to steal you. You're so cute. Well, look, here are a couple of things that I would say. When I decided to run, I asked myself 3 questions. The first question was, could my family survive the rigors of a presidential campaign?
Love Michelle!
Oh, we all love Michelle. I know that. And so I said to myself, it turns out because my wife is exceptional, my kids are above average, that my family would be okay. And they have been. They've been great. The second question was, could I win? And I've already indicated why I think actually I can beat John McCain more effectively than Hillary Clinton can. And I think that's very important. I think I can get more independent votes and more Republican votes and offset whatever advantages he may have and actually succeed. I think Senator Clinton starts off with 47% of the country against her. That's a hard place to start if you want to win an election. But that's the political argument. The third and most important question was, why should I win? Because I think you shouldn't ask just, can you win? You want to ask, should you win? And there were at least 4 reasons why I thought I could do better than Senator Clinton or any other candidate as president at this moment in history. Number 1, I have the ability to bring people together. And as I said before, I don't think we can solve our health care problem, for example, without having a strong working majority. Both Senator Clinton and I want to provide universal health care to everybody. We both have a government plan that we set up where you will be able to buy into it. You won't be able to be excluded from pre-existing conditions. We will both negotiate with drug companies for the cheapest available price on drugs. We're both going to put an emphasis on prevention. I emphasize costs more. She has a mandate which would force everybody to buy health care. What I say is that if we make it affordable, people will buy it, and I don't want to penalize people before we make it affordable. But basically, 95% of the plan's the same. The question is, who can actually get it done? And who can avoid the resistance of some of the Republicans who may want to see improvements, but politically feel like it's hard for them to work with it. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, I asked myself, who can overcome the special interests and lobbyists that have come to dominate Washington? I don't take PAC money. I don't take money from federal registered lobbyists. We have funded our campaign with $25, $50, $100 donations from people in this audience. And so that means that I'm answerable to the public in a way that Senator Clinton, who's raised more money from PACs and special interests than John McCain hasn't. And this has been a consistent theme. It's not just a stunt I did for this race. You know, last year I passed the toughest ethics reform legislation since Watergate. I passed transparency laws to make sure that people would know on a searchable database how the federal government is spending our money. I have a consistent track record of reforming government so that it's more accountable to you, the American people. Senator Clinton does not have that track record, and I don't think we can change Washington unless we change how business is done in Washington. So that's number 2. Number three, I think that part of what the American people are looking for right now is straight talk. They don't want political talk. And I'll just give you one example. Senator Clinton and I were in a debate, and she was asked about the bankruptcy law that she voted for in 2001 that made it harder for people to file bankruptcy because of credit cards that had gone from 0 interest to 30% interest, or people who had been sick and paying medical care. I mean, this was a credit card industry bill. And she said, during the debate, she said, well, you know what, I voted for it, but I hoped it wouldn't pass. Now, that was a quote on live TV. That kind of talk, I think, it makes people not trust government. And I think we need somebody who is going to answer clearly and straightforwardly about the problems that we face. That's number 3. And that's why, for example, when I proposed that we were going to change our tax code and increase oversight of the financial industry, I didn't do it in front of a union hall. I went to Wall Street and did it in front of corporate CEOs. That's why when I talked about fuel efficiency standards, I went to Detroit, the people who most resist increases in fuel efficiency standards, because I want people to feel as if I'm presenting them honestly with choices. I'm not trying to negotiate or finesse or avoid tough questions. And the last point, I think the day I'm inaugurated, I think this country looks at itself differently. Like your son sees somebody different as president. After 44 of them, he will say, you know what? After 43 of them, he'll say the 44th, hey, you know, that guy's got a funny name like me. It changes our perceptions in this country, but it also changes perceptions overseas. So that's not just symbolic. You know, if I go to a poor country in Africa, I do so with the credibility of having lived in a poor country in Southeast Asia and having family, a grandmother who lives in a small village without electricity or running water. And so I have credibility not just because I know the leaders, but because I know the people in those countries. If I'm reaching out to the Muslim world, they may know that I'm Christian, but they also know I lived in Indonesia, which has the largest Muslim population in the world, and so that I understand their culture, and that gives me more credibility in negotiations to figure out how we can bridge the gaps. So those are 4 good reasons, aside from the fact that I'm a local guy from Hawaii. All right, that's the 5th. All right, thank you.